Previously on Ballz.
Hello.
Hey, Jaco.
Darren.
How's it going, buddy?
What are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Nice to chat to you on Ballz Radio. You sound like you're out of breath. You've been in the gym.
No, referees aren't very fit, eh?
Aren't very fat,
you very
fit. You have to be fit, boss.
Yeah.
Remember the one or two of those highlights? I think it's Currie Cup actually, and rugby things where you see a wing streaking down the touchline and the referee overtakes him. Or the line judge.
That's when Dick Mearsall played.
Yeah, it probably was him actually. The linesman overtaking him as he tries to get to the in-goal area. Oh, it's brilliant. All right, but yeah, you are pretty fit, eh? I mean, you're not a big guy, and you're in good shape. So you guys must be putting in quite a bit of training every week.
Yeah, we have to be fit. Obviously, I've been misquoted before in my life, but
Don't worry about it, Jaco. It doesn't matter. We don't take sound bites.
I'm not trying to make any statements, but yes, we have to be fit. If you take the game, you're probably on a leash of 5 meters off with the attacking halfback. So yes, you have to keep up with the game, but we don't have to fall down and stand up all the time like players. So you don't have to have that fitness, but you've got to be able to run.
Are they still considering allowing Jono to use a wheelchair next year so he can get around?
Yeah, considering what's going on in cycling, they're probably testing me before the game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, what kind of do you guys do the South African referees hierarchy? Do they sort of put in fitness programs for you, and do you guys do the various tests for fitness? Because I mean, we've seen in the IRB panel that one or two guys have been dropped off because of that very reason, because they were deemed to be maybe not fit enough.
Yeah, look, they've got protocols that's been probably the IRB sets a standard for certain things, and they measure us on certain things like, for instance, the old bleep test or a VO2 max and sprint test and all that. So yes, we've got certain minimum standards we have to meet. We have to test on those 4 times a year for the IRB, and obviously those tests will also we'll do one of those tests just prior to Super Rugby and one prior to Currie Cup to make sure we're in a good shape.
All right. And what criteria do they have? I mean, do you guys know who's doing the final well in advance, or do you only find out sort of after the semi-finals? When do you get told, and what criteria are there for someone to do the final? Or is it, do they still look at where the guy lives and, because, I mean, as I say, a guy like John has lived in every town. I think Craig's lived in a few as well. So
yeah,
that'd be difficult to try and, still push that whole, okay, he's got to be completely impartial, not even allowed to have lived in that city to be able to referee a final. It'd be very difficult.
No, these days they try and get the best man and the best fit for the job out there. As it started with merit refereeing in Sanzar. So Currie Cup following suit, I guess it's about form, it's about the correct guy for the job. Sometimes the different two teams that play suits a different referee, not necessarily the guy in top form. So I guess it's about the game fit, and it's also about form. Selection-wise, they sit, I think, halfway through the Currie Cup. They sit the selectors, and they do a ranking, and they obviously judge where the boys are at that moment, and then just after last round fixture, they sit again, and then they do selection again, and on those they make selection for semis and playoffs.
All right. So did you know you've been doing the final for a while now?
No, I actually got the confirmation call on Monday morning only.
Only on Monday. Normally people that get calls on Monday are getting told they've been fired. So that's a good Monday call.
I don't want to call on this Monday.
Ian Mack called it the DCM. Don't come Monday. You got the do come. The do come Saturday. The DCS. That's lacquer for you. And how many finals have you done now? Is this this is not your first, or is it?
Yeah, it's my first Currie Cup final.
This is your first Currie Cup final. I like it for you. Eh? That's awesome. Yeah, and it's you do know it's going to be 17 degrees and raining, eh?
Yeah. For a guy from Bloemfontein, that's perfect.
Yeah, and I mean that kind of, those conditions kind of probably makes your job a little tougher in conditions like that, because the game tends to be more tight. There's a lot of kicking, so you tend to have a lot of rucks and mauls and things going on because the game tends to be a little tighter.
Yeah, I guess when the game gets slower, it pulls the referee right into the game. When there's tempo, there's not enough time for the normal viewer to have a second look at was this wrong or right. So the tempo always takes the referee a bit out of the game. So, weather-wise, I'm prepared for it. So whatever comes, if the game needs me to ref it for 80 minutes, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to freeze, and
Yeah. Freeze figuratively, because I think you might freeze literally. It's cold. It's going to be cold in Durban. You get referees, we without mentioning any names, but some referees can be more pedantic, if I can use that word, than others. In a final, sometimes that's where, it tends to, if you have a referee that does tend to, look at every single thing and want to blow it up, they can be even more pedantic. But do you go into a game and sort of think, listen, even if it is a final, I just want to keep it as flowing as possible, and and let it go? Is that your primary thought?
No, it's not. I guess in finals that both coaching teams, I'll have a meeting with both of them on Friday, and what I'm used to on running touch in finals and the finals I have refed in different competitions is that the coaches just want to win. They don't care about flow. They want to win, and they want it fair.
Yeah.
So they actually want us to ref the final. If you take back in the World Cup quarterfinals where we lost, if that referee can have that game over, he'll ref it, as hard as he can, and just keep it fair. So if the game opens up after 20 minutes, after I rested hard in the first 20, so be it. Then I'll sit back.
Yeah.
But if the game calls for a referee to ref it to keep it fair, I'll have to do my job. Yeah,
because literally the winning of a trophy can decide on one decision or another. The other thing I've been talking about this week, which I always amazes me, I don't know if you guys notice it, but when refs give advantage to a team in a playoff game, a semi-final, or even a final where scoring tries isn't necessarily the be-all. The idea is just to win by 1 point, and you've won the game. And it happened, I think, in both semi-finals where ref gave advantage in a very kickable position, and the teams carry on playing the advantage, where if there's a danger that advantage would be called over at some stage, and they'd miss the opportunity of what would be probably a very simple 3 points. And I just wonder if a player, and I think the Aussies used to do this sometimes, where if they got a penalty in a kickable position in a test match, they would just deliberately knock the ball on. Now, can you do that, first of all? Do you notice that as well, where teams sometimes, they still play it even though 3 points probably might benefit them better in the context of what the game is?
Yeah, look, first thing, our teams study us, and all the referees have a profile. All teams have a profile on each referee, and they know me by now as well as they know Kaplan or Craig or Marius or whoever. So they'll know how I play advantage, and they will ask me, how will I play advantage? Will I play it as always, or will I stretch it, or whatever? So I'll tell them I'll play it as always.
Yeah.
So they know what to do. I like to play advantage, so they can force their hand there and try and score a try. So I'll come back for it. If there was no advantage going, I'll come back.
Okay, but an advantage tends to go quite a long time. Is there any specific time when a referee has to say, okay, advantage over? We're talking about a penalty advantage now, because it does sometimes tend to go on for maybe 2-3 minutes before they get called back if they haven't taken the advantage. So when does the advantage actually end?
Law book only states when it's clear, when a team has clearly gained advantage, editorially or tactically. So that's why it's a grey area, because there's no set manner to play advantage. That's where the referees can still add their own spice.
So if you're in the red, if you're on attack, sorry to interrupt, but if you're on the attack in the red zone, as an example, generally that means when you get advantage, if you don't score, you go back for the kick.
I try to look at it differently. The law book doesn't change wherever you're on the field. For the whole 100 meters is the same. So I feel advantage is advantage until it's gained. If it's not gained, say if there's a clear line break and the player just needs to offload and they score, and he just doesn't pass, he's gained the advantage. So I don't want to call it now, but on the field we'll judge it, and I'll play it as always.
At your discretion, basically. You decide when it is. Because I've had a look at the manual for Saturday here, Jaco, and it says you should allow Province two phases and the Sharks 8.
Anything less. It's Plum in the studio.
No, he's not here. Only joking. Yes, Johnny?
Jaco, I just want to ask a little bit about you, because you mentioned Bloemfontein, and how did you get involved in refereeing?
Yeah, what makes a referee decide he wants to? Were you also a rugby player?
Yeah, not a very good rugby player, but I was a rugby player. I played and I got injured. I'm a little wee man, so they broke me in 20 pieces before I reached the age of 20.
Yeah, well, that'll teach you to go and play lock at your size, Jaco? Where were you at school?
I decided to stay involved in the game, started coaching, and you had to ref your own teams and so on at low school level. So, and then I kind of got the hang of it and started going for it.
Yeah, and where were you at school?
Bloemfontein, Grey College.
We at Grey College?
Yes.
Geez, so not only producing rugby players, but also international referees as well, eh? That's amazing. And I mean, look, obviously it's one of those thankless jobs in South Africa because you can never keep everyone happy. Even this weekend I was watching, and as soon as at the end of the game, the guys start on Twitter again about the referee. Yeah. So it's one of those thankless jobs where you're going to have one side or one group of people that are always going to be on your back.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, if you want to be a ref and you want to be a hero, you're at the wrong spot in the wrong place.
Yeah.
That's not part of the job. To me, it's rewarding. It's obviously bad after games. The losing team will always be on your back, but so be it. I travel the world. I make friends all over the world. If it's Europe, UK, if it's Australia, New Zealand, I can go anywhere. I've got friends in rugby. So there's a lot of spin-offs. So you see the world. So it's great. No. Not that bad.
All right, just looking further ahead, Quinton's got a question on Twitter. He wants to know, when do we start using the new rules? And the one in particular that they've been talking about is the challenge. Are you looking forward to that coming into the game?
Yeah, I do. I guess the DMO thing is not sorted out at this point in time. We're going to a conference on 5 and 6 November in Lensbury, London.
Yeah.
Where all the IRB test referees and all the who's who will be there from IRB. And all the countries to decide on a TMO protocol that will be used for in time going forward. And then we'll have a workshop on the new proposed laws, like the 5-second law.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit like the maul, where the referee calls use it, and it's 5 seconds and it's turnover if you don't use it.
Well, that's cool. So I mean, teams can't sit in the last couple of minutes anymore then and just basically hold the ball in a ruck for, run the clock down, because that is frustrating. That really irritates me. That, okay, if it's your team doing it, that's what you tell them to do. But if it's against you, I mean, that literally kills the game in the last few minutes. You want to see it as an open contest all the way through to the end and keep that ball moving.
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah. There'll be a couple of interesting tweaks also. Scrum will be a different call, so the four stage call will become back to a 3-stage call with crouch, touch, set. That will help because
you must be loving that.
Oh, I love it, because the players will be down there for a shorter period of time, so they will carry their weight better. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And one, I really wish they would bring in the 5-point conversion in rugby as well. They have something like, I think it's called the 2-point conversion in American football, where you have an option of taking the conversion, because especially games where teams are quite far ahead and the team that's trying to catch up and they score a try, the game, it's almost like consolation try. So whereas if the team takes an option of a 5-point or even a 4-point conversion, they get given a certain time, like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Where they can take a tap penalty as opposed to a conversion, but they get 2 minutes to actually score again.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it really would be an exciting initiative. If you want to take that to the meeting as well, say it's yours. I'm happy. I'm happy.
I'll acknowledge you guys.
Oh, thanks, Jaco. Well, listen, good luck for the weekend. Really looking forward to the final. It's going to be a wet one by the looks of things. But, listen, just have a great game. And as you know, you'll blow it very impartially. And we know the best team will come out on top. So enjoy it, and thanks for chatting to us today.
Thanks, Jaco.
Pleasure, always pleasure chatting to you.
All the best, man. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we go. Jaco Peyer, the referee for Saturday.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on Ballz.co.za. Ballz.co.za.